Mark here again, cooking books, bringing info. I want to talk about why you don't fit in, why we don't fit in, or why you don't fit in, and why you should be completely comfortable with not fitting in. Let me explain something. There are those of us who are considered misfits. I say those of us because I'm considered a misfit, proud misfit, spokesperson for all misfits everywhere. But let me distinguish between let's call it good and bad, a good misfit and a bad misfit, right? We're not talking about a person who just bucks the trend or goes against the grain because just cause, right? They are they just want to go to this one to disagree to be disagreeable. That's not what we're talking about, right? That's not the misfits we're talking about. That's a different category of misfits. The misfits I'm talking about is like myself, right? People who just don't get along with the social order or with the crowd, right? Because they operate on a different wavelength, right? So I consider myself a misfit, and I'm learning this now, right? When I say now, I don't mean like today, but I'm saying in the last several years, I'm starting to realize that I would be what's considered a misfit because I don't get along with the crowd. I don't go with the crowd. I just naturally do not go with the crowd. Not because I want to disagree to be disagreeable, but because I'm operating on a totally different wavelength. And folks, you got to understand this. When God has called you, you're naturally going to be a misfit. You will be a misfit with almost everything in life, right? Your workplace, you're going to be a misfit. Amongst your family members, you're going to be a misfit. And again, it varies, but just take everything with a grain of salt. And I'm generalizing. Generally speaking, amongst family members, you're going to be misfits, right? There might be one or two family members that you kind of synchronize with, but for the most part, you're going to be a misfit with family members because remember, Jesus said that. Uh, I'm paraphrasing that mothers shall be against daughters, sons against fathers, a house will be divided. And what that means is if you're walking with God, if God called you and anointed you, sanctified you, appointed you, commissioned you to do some task, immediately you're going to be a misfit. You're not going to be able to get along with everyone. And the reason for that is because you're under the influence of a higher frequency. You're under the influence of a higher power source. Your thoughts are being fed to you from a different dimension uh, other than the physical mainframe that everyone else is being fed from. See, we all are operating in this physical plane, but and everyone is being fed from this physical plane, so to speak, which is a mainframe, which is a structure, right? If you're called, you're going to be operating from a different dimension, meaning your thoughts, your influence, your inspirations come from other sources as opposed to the social construct or the social engineered mainframe that everyone else is operating and running on. So immediately you're going to be a misfit. And and then what's going to happen is, folks, you're gonna feel uncomfortable because you're not going to fit into a lot of clubs. You're not going to fit into a lot of groups, crowds, audience, parties, whatever you want to call it. You're just not. You're not going to get along with a lot of people. And till you understand your misfit-ism, until you embrace it and understand it, you're going to be depressed. You're going to go through periods of what is questioning yourself. What is wrong with me? Right? Why can't I get along with anyone? Why do I not make it with anyone? Why do I fail with relationships? Why do I fail with friendships? Why do I fail with business partnership? You're gonna constantly initially that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna question your own self. You're gonna go through the self loathing, the self deprecation. You're gonna go through that. That's all part of the process, and it's totally natural uh, as the initiation into your misfit-ism is revealed to you. But once you understand why you're a misfit, then all of those feelings that cascades, those emotions that's going to cascade you and baptize you, so to speak, they're all going to start to flow. It will begin to start to flow, and like snakeskin, it will fall off. It will gradually drop off as you embrace and come into who you are. And the beauty of it is this, folks: you can't. Anyone who God has called, appointed, chosen, sanctified, ordained, cannot go along to get along. You just can't. It's not in, and the reason why is because again, you're operating on a higher wavelength. You're being inspired by higher frequencies, higher thought patterns, and so in a way, you have no saying, so to speak, in the process. All you can do is surrender to that process. I mean, you're going to resist it initially because, like I said, you might want to date that girl. You might really like that girl, or you might really like that guy, right? So you're going to resist the misfit-ism and try to fit in to keep that guy or to keep that gal. But eventually, you, the universe is going to take its course, and you're going to naturally fall in line with the the task or the mission. You're naturally going to fall in line with it because it is what your vibratory nature. That's the wavelength that you're vibrating on. You're corresponding to a higher wavelength, a higher frequency, and the physical body will only follow what your subtle body, which is your soul, spirit, uh, and your subtle fields, energy fields, are going to naturally vibrate with the corresponding thoughts or influences or inspirations that's being fed from the subtle regions. And once your subtle body aligns with the subtle regions, your physical body has to follow suit. So you're naturally going to fall in line. So I talk to those out there who feel uncomfortable. If you feel uncomfortable in your soul, you walk into rooms and you don't get along with everyone. You're not the life of the party. You're not the most popular gal or popular guy. You're not. It's okay. It's all right. Uh, Especially, I'm not now again. We're not talking about if you're socially inept or socially awkward. That's not what we're talking about here. If you're socially inept and socially awkward, you need to improve your social skills. Go read a couple of books, self-help books on how to win friends and alienate bad folks or whatever those books are called. I forgot the name of it. How to win friends and make people hate you. I don't know, something like that. But it's not about social ineptness or social clumsiness or social awkwardness. It's about, again, I'm talking to those who know that there's a calling on their life, that God has been uh, causing you to fail in certain things, causing you to shipwreck in certain directions. You get on this career, and all of a sudden things are going well, and then boom, it all blows up, and you notice that there's a pattern. Every time you begin something, you shipwreck. Every time you begin, you shipwreck. Every time you shipwreck. Most times that shipwreck is God's way of getting your attention, letting you know, look, this is where I want you to go. You keep going in this direction, but this is what I have for you. This is where I want you to go. And until you recognize and embrace that, you're going to keep shipwrecked. You're going to keep going to shipwreck situations, whether it's personal situations, financial situations, business situations, relational situations. You're going to constantly shipwreck until you heed the call, because this is what misfit-ism is. You don't fit in these relationships. You don't fit in these scenarios. You don't fit in these situations. The reason you don't fit is because God has fashioned and molded you for a particular purpose or a particular situation. And until you align yourself with that, you're going to continue to be a misfit and continue to have the same reoccurring feed. It's called a feedback loop. All right. So, or a vicious cycle or a feedback loop. So until next time, if you're a misfit, embrace your misfitism and watch how you become so powerful when you get in line with your purpose. All right, till next time. Peace.